Good morning. Today we are going to study the topic kinds of pollination, which is taken from chapter 2 Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants from class 12th biology. Okay, we have already studied in lesson 1 that sexual reproduction involves fusion of the gametes. So to ensure fusion of the gametes, first of all the transfer of gametes must take place. So we know that in the flowering plants the male gametes are born within the pollen grains and the female gamete is born within the ovary, but both the gametes have to meet for the fusion. Therefore, the external agents are required for this purpose. It can be wind, water, animal, gravity or growth contact. The transfer of the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower is known as pollination. Students, this slide highlights the various kinds of pollination. Depending on the source of the pollen, the pollination can be of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is again of two types. It is autogamy, wherein the pollen grain from the anther is transferred to the stigma which is present on the same flower. Second one is geitonogamy, wherein the anther of one flower is transferred to the stigma of a different flower which is born on the same plant. The next type is the cross-pollination, wherein the transfer of the pollen grain takes place from the flower, from one flower to the stigma of another flower which is born on two different plants. Therefore, it requires the various external agents. These are abiotic agencies, wind and water. Wind, the pollination by wind is known as anemophily and pollination by water is known as hydrophily. The biotic agencies are insects and the pollination is known as entomophily, bats, pollination is chiropterophily, snails, the pollination is known as malacalophily, and with birds it is ornithophily. Children, now we will study these kinds of pollination in detail. So the first one we know is self-pollination. It is the transfer of pollen grain from the anther of a flower to the stigma of either the same or genetically similar flower. So accordingly, self-pollination is of two types: autogamy and geitonogamy. Autogamy. It is a type of self-pollination in which an intersexual or perfect flower is pollinated by its own pollen. Autogamy occurs by two methods: homogamy. The anthers and the stigma of Chasmogamous, which are open flowers, are brought together by growth, bending or folding. Another one is cleistogamy. In cleistogamous flowers, the anthers dehisce inside closed flowers. Growth of style brings the pollen grains in contact with stigma. Pollination and seed set are assured. Pollinators are not required here. Geitonogamy. It is a type of pollination in which pollen grains of one flower are transferred to the stigma of another flower belonging to either the same plant or genetically similar plant. In geitonogamy, the flowers often show modifications similar to ones found in xenogamy or cross-pollination. As you can see here in this picture, geitonogamy is taking place between the flowers of two different plants. So self-pollination has certain advantages and some disadvantages as well. So the various merits of self-pollination are that it maintains the parental characters or purity of the race indefinitely. Second, self-pollination is used to maintain pure lines for hybridization experiments. The plant does not need to produce large number of pollen grains here, and the flowers do not develop devices for attracting insect pollinators. These are the advantages of self-pollination. Now the various demerits are: new useful characters are seldom introduced, vigor and vitality of the race decreases with prolonged self-pollination, immunity to diseases decreases, adaptability to change environment are reduced. Since there is no evolution taking place in self-pollination, so these are the demerits of self-pollination. Okay children, the second type of pollination is cross-pollination, which is also known as xenogamy or allogamy. It is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of a genetically different flower. Cross-pollination is performed with the help of an external agency. As we have studied the various merits and demerits of self-pollination, similarly, there are certain advantages and disadvantages of cross-pollination too. So, cross-pollination introduces genetic recombination and hence variations in the progeny. Cross-pollination increases the adaptability of the offspring towards changes in the environment. It makes the organism better fitted in the struggle for existence. The plants produced through cross-pollination are more resistant to diseases. So these are the advantages. Now the disadvantages are: a factor of chance is always involved in cross-pollination. It is less economical. Some undesirable characters may creep in the race. The very good characters of the race are likely to be spoiled. Now we are going to study the various agencies of pollination which are required for cross-pollination. Anemophily. It is a mode of cross-pollination or transfer of pollen grains through the agency of wind. And the various plants which exhibit anemophily are coconut palm, date palm, maize, many grasses and cannabis sativa. The characteristic feature of these plants are that the flowers are colorless, odorless and nectarless. Pollen grains are light, small and winged or dusty, dry, smooth, non-sticky and unwettable. Stigma is hairy, feathery or branched to catch the wind-borne pollen grains. Pollen grains are produced in very large number. Hydrophily. It is a mode of pollination or transfer of pollen grains through the agency of water. The examples are Zostera and Vallisneria, which are aquatic plants. The characteristic features of these plants are that the flowers are small and inconspicuous. Nectar and odor are absent. Pollen grains are light and unwettable due to presence of mucilaginous cover. Stigma is long, sticky, but again unwettable. Among the biotic agents, entomophily is the most common mode of pollination in flowering plants. Here the pollen grains are transferred to a mature stigma through the agency of insects like moths, butterflies, wasps, bees, beetles, etc. And the examples are mostly all the flowering plants. The characteristic features are that they are showy or brightly colored. Most insect pollinated flowers have a landing platform. The pollen grains are spiny, heavy and surrounded by a yellow, oily, sticky substance called the pollen kit. Stigmas are often inserted and sticky. Some flowers provide safe places to insects for laying eggs, for example, yucca plant. So here we come to the end of this presentation. So through this presentation we are able to study about what is pollination, why pollination is important, what are the various kinds of pollination, what are the merits and demerits of different kinds of pollination, what are the various agencies of pollination which are involved, and finally we are able to differentiate between self-pollination and cross-pollination. So thank you so very much.